Good morning, everyone. Myself, Dr. Trina Dotto, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, JIS College of Engineering. Today, I am going to tell about water. That is what the important water. Basically, I will tell about the water quality parameters. That is the part of industrial chemistry. And if you have any doubt, you can communicate through my either mobile number or my email ID. And this is very important, the course page, you have to go through this. You will get all the study materials, the assignments, everything given there. So anywhere, anytime, you can check this one. So the subject chemistry, the code is CH101 for the odd semester, CH201 for the even semester. This course is for BTech undergraduate students. The streams are Electrical EC BME for the odd semester, CSE IT Civil Mechanical for the even semester. And credits are 3, contact hour 36, and I will take 3 classes per week. Prerequisite knowledge required for this subject, that is 12 standard. And course objective, you will learn different concept of chemistry. So entire syllabus is given here. I will take today the highlighted part, that is module 4, hardness and alkalinity, the first lecture. So the students will be able to apply the knowledge of water quality parameters in industries. And you can follow the books, that is Engineering Chemistry by Jane and Jane, that is available in the library. So the important part, first of all, I like to say, that is the water quality parameters. So why it is very much important? You can understand the quality of the water. That water, the sample water can be used for drinking purpose, the category A, for bathing purpose, the category B, for the industrial purpose, category C. So which category the water belongs to? So you can understand this one. So this, like for example, say you have a water sample that contains arsenic above 10 ppb. So you can tell that it is not suitable for drinking purpose. Say you have a water sample which have very low pH value, like say 2, 3. So that means it contains acid. If it is acidic, then it will corrode the material in the industry. So it is not suitable for industrial purpose. So the water quality parameters, that means there are few parameters by which we can determine the quality of the water. So there are different types of quality, like physical properties. So physical properties like color, odor, that means from the color we can understand, like color, that means if the color is stale, then we can say it is not the good quality water. Say odor, this one is the smell. If we get the bad smell, then we can say that is not the good quality water. Temperature. So temperature, that means if the temperature is very high, so dissolved oxygen will move from the water. It will be out of the water. Solids, residues, turbidity. Turbidity means small turbid particles. So we can understand by the light scattering effect, we can understand the turbidity. Oil content, grease content, all these are the physical properties. Now about the chemical properties. So chemical properties, pH, very important parameter. It ranges from 0 to 14. So if it is a lower pH value, that means acidic or alkaline, we can understand. Conductivity means, that means conductance value, how much the water has the conducting property. Dissolved oxygen, it is very important for the aquatic life. At least minimum dissolved oxygen should be 5 milligram per liter. Otherwise, the aquatic life cannot exist. Because we do the respiration, we inhale the oxygen from atmosphere, and the aquatic life, like say fish, take the oxygen from the dissolved oxygen, which is the oxygen which is remain dissolved in the water bodies. Nitrate, orthophosphate, I will tell one by one later also. Chemical oxygen demand, biological oxygen demand, pesticides. Pesticides basically comes from the human activities, and BOD, COD, these are the oxygen required to decompose the microorganism. BOD means the biological oxygen demand. So demand means that why the oxygen required, and the oxygen required to decompose microorganism. Biological parameters are also very important, because say if it contains pathogens means which causes disease. The microorganisms which causes disease, these are called pathogens. If it contains pathogens, then, and also if we consume this type of contaminated water, we may suffer from different disease. That is why this parameter is also very important. So now I will describe that the few of the chemical water quality parameters. Like say chloride ion. Chloride ion, normally all types of water contains chloride ion, but its concentration is very low in natural water system. Chloride ion concentration increases in case of urine or sewage contaminated water. High concentration of chloride can give salty taste and also corrode pipeline of the water. Because salty taste, why? Because chloride ion, that means you know the NaCl, Na plus and Cl minus. So we get the high concentration of chlorine will make the water salty. Ammonia, in ammonia, ammonia come from the decomposition of organic matter like protein, amino acid, etc. So its concentration also increases during water disinfection process using chloramine. In water, ammonia is first oxidized into nitrite, then into nitrate. Therefore, by measuring concentration of ammonia, nitrite and nitrate, we can predict the time of contamination of organic matter in water. Okay, so if nitrate is present, so what will be the problem? The disease may caused by nitrate, that is called blue baby syndrome. Hemoglobin has the greater affinity for nitrate than oxygen. So if the level of nitrate is very high in blood due to consumption of contaminated water, then it inhibits formation of oxyhemoglobin. Instead, what it will form? it will form nitrosomy or hemoglobin. So this prevent transport of oxygen to tissue, giving characteristics blue color. So in infant, nitrite poisoning occurs even due to high concentration of nitrite in drinking water. So you understand that if nitrite concentration increases, what will be the biochemical effect on us? Nitrate, it is the most stable oxidized form of nitrogen. In water, nitrate comes from the organic matter decomposition and from atmospheric nitrogen fixation. Like nitrate should not exceed 3 milligram per liter in drinking water, because nitrate can be reduced into nitrite, and you know that nitrite can make the blue baby syndrome. It is a nitrite poisoning. Phosphate. In water, phosphate is present in the form of H2PO4 and as organic phosphate. Phosphate in water sources comes from agricultural waste, sewage, and from industrial effluent. Phosphate is not toxic for human being, but it is important chemical in natural water system like pond, because its high concentration facilitates eutrophication. Eutrophication means the algal bloom. You have seen some ponds or lakes are completely covered by algae, and that is also a problem, eutrophication. So phosphate, nitrate, these are the nutrients. If the nutrient increases, then there will be high growth of algae. And if the water body is covered by algae, then what will be the problem? The sun ray cannot enter through the water bodies. So anaerobic decomposition will take place, because after the death of the algae, their body will be decomposed, and also the photosynthesis rate will be decreased. So amount of dissolved oxygen will be decreased. And if it continues, so the water bodies will be converted into the marshy land. Hardness is very important parameter, chemical parameter. Hardness of water I will tell in detail. So soft water, the amount, if that means it is causes due to the calcium and magnesium salt. If the amount less than 50 milligram per liter, that is called soft water. Moderately hard water, if the amount of calcium magnesium salt is from 50 to 150 milligram per liter, that is called moderately hard water. Hard water is if the range is 150 to 300 milligram per liter, and very hard water, that is greater than 300 milligram per dl. So hard water is also not suitable for industrial purpose. Hard water is not suitable for using in the boiler. So we have to determine, that means what is the amount of hardness the water has. So this is also one of the chemical water quality parameter. Next is biological oxygen demand. So I told the oxygen required to decompose the organic matter, like living organism, when it will be dead, after their death, their body is decomposed. So organic matter means the dead plants or dead animals are decomposed. So during the decomposition, that is the first order reaction, during the decomposition, it requires oxygen. And the amount of oxygen required to decompose, that is called BOD. And BOD is very important. If the BOD value is very high, that means we can understand the water contains high amount of organic waste. COD is the chemical oxygen demand. So if we measure the oxygen requirement to decompose all type of material, biodegradable plus non-biodegradable, that is called chemical oxygen demand. And it is not the biological process. Basically, it is done by oxidizing reagent K2Cr2O7. So you have got some idea about the water quality parameters. So dissolved oxygen pH, I have already told that dissolved oxygen, which we can measure by Winkler's method, that how much dissolved oxygen water contains, and it you can do in the chemistry lab also the determination of dissolved oxygen. And if you can determine the dissolved oxygen, you can measure the BOD value also. You can measure the pH value in the chemistry lab for any sample from the industry or from any type of sample. You can measure the pH value by pH meter in our chemistry lab. So all these things what you are learning, so you can do the practical experience in the chemistry lab. Next parameter is alkalinity. So today you will learn the alkalinity. Alkalinity is also chemical quality parameter. So what is alkalinity? What is the definition of alkalinity? Alkalinity is the buffering capacity of the water. Buffering capacity means the water can resist the pH value. Do you know what is the pH value of water? Water is the neutral. That means it should be 7. So generally it remains like 6.9 like that, around 7. So how it can maintain? You know that in the atmosphere there is CO2. CO2 react with H2O. We get bicarbonate, H2CO3, carbonic acid. And this is the reversible reaction. So again, we get back the CO2. So CO2 reacts with H2O. Again, it go back to the atmosphere. So addition of CO2 to a solution does not change its alkalinity. Although there is the addition of CO2 with the water, but it can resist the change of pH value. That is why we tell the buffering capacity of the water is called alkalinity. And how we can measure the alkalinity? And before that, we have to know that why the water becomes alkaline in nature. So due to some ions, due to the presence of some ions, the water becomes alkaline. Like say bicarbonate, carbonate, hydroxide ion, salts of weak acid, etc. So mainly carbonate, bicarbonate and hydroxide. We get the water alkaline. So they may remain individually or they remain in the combined form. So now how we can measure the alkalinity? So it is the alkaline by nature. So if we take the sample and titrate with the acid, then we can measure the alkalinity value. If we take the sample and titrate with the H2SO4 acid, then we can measure the alkalinity value. And in the next lecture, I will show how you can solve a problem or how you can determine the alkalinity. Now, hardness of water. So it is the hard water or soft water. So what do you mean by hard water? What is the hardness? It is very hard. Not like that. Basically, what is our experience? If we take the hard water for our washing purpose, say as for example, for washing purpose, it will consume more lather, more soap. It does not form easily lather. So we can tell that it is the soap consuming capacity of water, because as much the water will be hard, it will consume more soap because it does not make the lather easily. That is the problem of using the hard water. So why the hardness takes place? What are the causes? What are the ions that causes hardness? So there are different ions. Like for cation, I can tell that calcium and magnesium, calcium +2 and magnesium +2. And as the anions, there may be sulfate, it may be bicarbonate, it may be chloride. So if this type of salt present, like say calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, or calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, then the water is called hard water. So now, what you will learn that what is hard water? Types of hardness. So what are the types of hardness? There are two types of hardness. One is temporary hardness, another is permanent hardness. Temporary hardness caused by bicarbonate ion. Like say if calcium bicarbonate is present or magnesium bicarbonate is present, then it is called temporary hardness. If say chloride ion present or sulfate ion present, like say calcium sulfate, calcium chloride, magnesium sulfate, magnesium chloride, then this is called permanent hardness. So if it is asked that which cation causes hardness, like say calcium, magnesium, iron, all of these, then the answer will be all of these. So mainly calcium, magnesium, but iron also responsible for the hardness. If the question is that which ion causes temporary hardness, then answer will be bicarbonate ion, because calcium, magnesium or iron is the common for all salts. These are the cation part. And in the anion part is the determining factor for the temporary hardness and for the permanent hardness. If the anions are like chloride, sulfate, these are permanent hardness. If the anions are bicarbonate, these are the temporary hardness. So you have learned hardness, temporary hardness, permanent hardness. Now disadvantage of hardness. So what are the disadvantages? Is the wastage of soap, wastage of fuel, formation of scales on metallic boilers. These are the disadvantages. So how we can determine the hardness? So it you will do in the chemistry lab. You will also have the practical experience. You will determine the hardness in the chemistry lab. So there are two parts. One is total hardness, another is calcium hardness. So first part, what we do, we take the 50 ml of water sample in a 250 ml conical flask and 1 ml buffer solution added, then EBT indicator added, a pinch of EBT indicator, then the solution color become wine red. Now the solution is titrated against 0.01 molar EDTA solution. At the end point, the color change from wine red to blue. Then the titration is repeated 3 times and reading is noted. So how we are getting the total hardness you have understood. So we have to basically do the titration with the sample of water. We have to take the sample of water. We generally take the tap water sample and we titrate against EDTA. Then we do the calculation. And for calcium hardness, what we have to do? We have to remove the magnesium. Otherwise, we don't get the calcium hardness. First, we are measuring the total hardness. Then we remove the magnesium, because mainly the hardness is due to calcium and magnesium. So we remove magnesium, then we determine the calcium hardness. So to remove the magnesium, we have to add 12.5 ml of 3 molar NaOH solution to 25 ml water sample. So then we have to shake it well, then keep it for 5 minutes so that all the magnesium will be precipitated down as magnesium hydroxide. After that, we do the titration with EDTA. This case, we use the different indicator, that is Calcon indicator, and we use this one because the EBT indicator does not work in this higher pH value. That is why. So in this way, we determine calcium hardness. Now, if we subtract the calcium hardness from the total hardness, we get the magnesium hardness. So when you will do the practical, then again I will describe in details the procedure part and the theory part. So first you try to understand, then you will do the practical and you will get the hands-on experience. So removal of hardness. So this is the determination part you will do in the chemistry lab. That is not the removal part. So how we can remove the hardness? So first you, for industrial use, we have to do the water analysis. So you are given a sample of water, that this water can be used for industry or not, you have to determine. So you will determine first hardness, that what is the value of hardness you have determined. Now that is not the solution. You understood. If there is no hardness, that is very good. You can use for industrial purpose. But say it contains the hardness, then what you have to do? You have to remove the hardness. You have to find a solution. Then how we can remove the hardness? So I told that there is two types of hardness, temporary and permanent. So temporary hardness can be removed by simple boiling. It is called temporary, like say temporary job. It is not long lasting. So if just it is boiled, then the calcium bicarbonate will be converted into calcium carbonate. Say magnesium bicarbonate will be converted into magnesium carbonate. And in this way, it will precipitate down, and in this way, it can be removed. But the permanent hardness cannot be removed so easily. It is the permanent, very strong, but it can be removed. So there are different ways, like say using zeolite, using soda lime process, using ion exchange process. So there are different procedure. I will explain in the next class. So some of the most common signs of hard water include, that means what are the harmful effects of hard water? So already you have got it before. That means linens and cloths look dull and feel rough, ugly stains on white porcelain, and scale build up on faucets. So there are different. Low water pressure from showers due to clogged pipes. So basically the soap consumption will be higher. And next is that there will be a scale formation if you are using a bucket or tub. So there will be a scale formation. And now I will ask a very important question, that hard water can be used in boiler or not. It cannot, it can be used in boiler or not. Or what will be the harmful effect if we use the hard water without checking, without testing, without analyzing? Then what will be the problem? Can you think anything? Yes? Yes, we can't use. Basically, we can't use. Because if we use in the boiler, what will happen? Say there is like, say, calcium bicarbonate. So there will be the precipitate of, after boiling, it will precipitate down as calcium carbonate. So in this way, there will be a scale formation. So initially, the thin layer that is called scale, but after long days, there will be very thick layer that is called sludge. And if around the layer, around the boiler wall, if there is a scale formation or sludge formation, then heat transfer efficiency will be decreased. Heat transfer efficiency will be decreased, number one. Second thing, that if there is any crack, then water will enter and suddenly it will evaporate. So very high pressure will be created and a crack will be created, and ultimately the boiler may burst. So that is a very dangerous problem. That is why we have to be careful before we have to analyze the water sample, then we can use for boiler. And also there will be like boiler corrosion. Corrosion means if like say magnesium chloride is present and if it react with water, HCl will be formed. Then this HCl, that means acid, will corrode the material of the boiler. So there are lots of problems with using the hard water in the boiler. So it cannot be used. It should not be used. So before, we have to check or analyze the water quality. Okay, so now let's check that how much you have learned. So there are some MCQ, like hardness of water is due to presence of which ions? So these are all cations are given: calcium, magnesium, iron, all of this. So answer will be all of this. Next question, you must answer: the temporary hardness in water may be due to calcium chloride, calcium sulfate, calcium bicarbonate, all of this. So temporary hardness is caused due to bicarbonate. So the answer will be C. Next, like permanent hardness may be due to the presence of calcium sulfate, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, all of this. So it will be all of this because chloride and sulfate ions causes permanent hardness. Next, number 4th. Alkali substances in water include hydroxide, carbonate, bicarbonate, all of these. Okay, so it will also be all of this. Number 5th, alkalinity of water is measured with respect to calcium phosphate, calcium nitrate, calcium chloride, calcium carbonate. So it will be calcium carbonate. Okay, next short answer type question. So what is hard water? So you can answer very well, which contain magnesium, calcium, salt, that is called hard water, and it does not form lather easily. So what are the causes of hardness? Again, you have to answer the different ions like calcium and magnesium as cation and sulfate, chloride, bicarbonate as anions. Next question is, what is the cause of temporary hardness and how it can be removed? So bicarbonate ions of calcium, magnesium, salt causes temporary hardness and it can be removed by simple boiling. And you must give the reactions. How does water become alkaline? So what is the unit of alkalinity? Unit is the ppm, milligram per liter. And how the water becomes alkaline? Due to the presence of the different ions like hydroxide, carbonate, bicarbonate. Mention the name of compound with respect to which the alkalinity of water is expressed. So you have to mention the similar names like say bicarbonate, hydroxide. These ions are causes alkalinity. Okay, so all of you have learned today what you have learned, that mainly the water quality parameters, the parameters by which we understand the quality of the water. And if you summarize another things you have learned, that is the definition of hardness, definition of alkalinity, not and how we can determine alkalinity, how we can determine hardness, and different types of hardness. You have learned that is the permanent hardness, the temporary hardness, and not only that, you have learned many other quality parameters like dissolved oxygen, BOD, COD. That means if any sample is given, so we have to analyze, and many of the parameters can be analyzed in the chemistry lab. So we can analyze and we can tell that what is the pH value, what is the dissolved oxygen value, what is the BOD value, like that. And we can tell that it is suitable for which purpose and what category this water is. So thank you, and you do the assignment which is uploaded, and you make your own lesson and do it. Thank you.